Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera dan selamat datang ke Majlis Perasmian eBorneo Knowledge Fair ke-8 tahun 2021. Majlis dimulakan dengan lagu Negaraku dan UNIMAS Gemilang. Izinkan saya Tetamu kehormat yang berhormat Datuk Gerawat Gala, Timbalan Speaker Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak, Merangkap Adun N78 Mulu dan Penasihat ICT. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Khadim bin Suaidi, Naib Chancellor Universiti Malaysia Sarawak. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Wan Hashim Wan Ibrahim, Timbalan Naib Chancellor Penyelidikan dan Inovasi. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Kamarudin Kana, Timbalan Naib Chancellor Hal Ehwal Pelajar dan Alumni. Yang berusaha Tuan Haji Azlan bin Ramli, Pendaftar UNIMAS. Yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Narayanan Kulaturamaya dan Profesor Madya Dr. Pauline Bala, Pengurusi Bersama EBKF 2021. Datuk-datuk, datin-datin, pengurusan tertinggi UNIMAS, tetamu-tetamu jemputan, ketua-ketua jabatan kerajaan, swasta dan wakil-wakil badan bukan kerajaan, rakan kolaborasi, rakan penaja, wakil-wakil komuniti, rakan media, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan hadirin yang dimuliakan. Kami mengalu-alukan hadirin ke majlis perasmian eBorneo Knowledge Fair ke-8 tahun 2021 pada pagi ini. Hadirin yang dimuliakan, semoga majlis pagi ini mendapat keberkatan. Majlis dimulakan dengan menjemput Profesor Madya Dr. Abdul Halim bin Busari, Pengarah Pusat Islam Tun Abang Salahuddin, Pitas UNIMAS untuk mengetuai bacaan doa. Dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma ya Rahman ya Rahim. O Lord of the universe, the most merciful, with your permission and power, with your love and majesty, we assemble and witnessed on this historical day the opening ceremony of the 8th eBorneo Knowledge Fair. Allahumma ya Dhal Jalal wal Ikram, within all these years of excellence, we were content and blessed with all the dedications of your richness. Grant us success, make us excellence in the world and the hereafter. Give us some insight that every gift, every fortune, every achievement, every title and position and wealth is the abundance of your generosity. Allahumma ya Ra'ufu ya Rahim. We hope by having this knowledge fair, lead us to goodness, guide us to success, beautify us with humbleness, protect us from smugness, improve our practice and kindness so that we could get closer to you. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma wa la taj'al illahumma fina wa la ma'ana wa la man yatba'una shakiyya wa la matruda wa la mahruma. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun 'alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Amin ya rabbal alamin. Terima kasih Profesor Madya Dr. Abdul Halim bin Busari di atas bacaan doa itu tadi. Hadirin yang dihormati, majlis diteruskan dengan mempersilakan yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Khadim bin Suaidi, Naib Chancellor UNIMAS untuk menyampaikan ucapan aluan. Dengan segala hormatnya dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera dan salam UNIMAS kesayang. Yang berhormat Datuk Gerawat Gala, Deputy Speaker pada Sarawak State Legislative Assembly and the State Assemblyman for Mulu. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Wan Hashim Wan Ibrahim, Deputy Vice Chancellor Research and Innovation. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Ahmad Hatta Rashid, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and International. Bahagia Profesor Dr. Kamarudin Kana, Deputy Vice Chancellor Student Affairs and Alumni. Yang bahagia Profesor Dr. Muhammad Fadil Abdul Rahman, Assistant Vice Chancellor Leadership and Development. UNIMAS Management, Deans, Directors and colleagues in UNIMAS, sponsors and key partners of the eBorneo Knowledge Fair, distinguished guests, media members and especially to our community members and all participants. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 8th eBorneo Knowledge Fair 2021 or eBKF 8. I'm delighted to see so many familiar faces here with us today. And indeed, I'm honored to welcome new members to this community, especially those joining us from as far as the United Kingdom, the United States of America, Hong Kong, New Zealand, Brazil, Mozambique, and Canada. And also those from our own state of Sarawak and from the rest of Malaysia. The growing number of participants across many more sites this year is testament to the fact that eBKF 8 is indeed crossing boundaries and extending its reach and impact, particularly with its ongoing initiatives to address important issues regarding indigenous communities and ICTs. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, for the first time ever, we are brought together virtually to participate yet again in this meaningful and significant event, eBKF 8. Since the pandemic started, we have witnessed people all over the world going through tremendous change, be it professionally or personally. We now have to adapt to new norms, and one key difference is the need to conduct events and meetings through virtual platform. Interestingly enough, what seemed to be a distant vision of the future just 2 years ago has now become a reality for us all. And I am amazed at our resilience and capabilities of so many of us here today to overcome these trials. I am indeed happy to note that the team from UNIMAS has risen to the challenge to make virtual conference management as our forte by this pioneering feat in raising the level of eBKF 8 to become truly the first of its kind, co-designed developmental multi-conference. The uniqueness of this offering is mainly due to the transdisciplinary research that we have in UNIMAS, powered by research fellows who come from all faculties and institutes in the university. Indeed, these are interesting and exciting times, especially as we have risen to the challenge and embraced these changes, both within the university as well as in the way we are conducting our close partnership with our researchers and community members and society as a whole. We are very proud to be part of this innovative change, especially when we are working tirelessly together towards creating inclusive opportunities for everyone, especially with indigenous communities. Inclusiveness has always been an agenda that eBKF has stood for, and by bringing all of us here together on a digital platform highlights the fact that we are indeed moving in the right direction. In my previous encounter with the communities of Bakalan and Krayan Induk in Indonesia during eBKF 7, I have become fully appreciative of its unique participatory model. Ladies and gentlemen, as the premier public university in Sarawak, UNIMAS is dedicated towards contributing back towards society. UNIMAS has long embedded this philosophy in its approach to knowledge because we have believed in the value of working towards fostering close relationship with multicultural, disparate, and diverse communities. UNIMAS aims to continue working with helping communities throughout Sarawak, and this is evident in many projects that we have conducted, managed, led, and collaborated with over the past 20 years. UNIMAS, through research institutes such as the Institute of Social Informatics and Technological Innovation, or ISITI, has worked with several indigenous communities throughout Malaysia, such as in Pahang and Kelantan in West Malaysia, Buayan and Larapan in Sabah, and also in the Baram and Lawas, including such areas as Bario, Long Lamai, and Baklalan in Sarawak. I am very pleased to see that the close bond between UNIMAS and these communities has continued to grow over the years, leading us to where we stand today at the 8th eBorneo Knowledge Fair. It is through close collaborations with the local indigenous communities like this that the world can bear witness to the importance of partnering researchers with relevant communities to bridge the gap between theoretical understanding and issues in the real world. This year, I am proud that EBKF has extended its reach beyond what was initially imagined, and we are reaching out and creating value for indigenous communities through the various collaborations and partnerships that we have fostered with our different stakeholders, especially as we involve more people on international scale. We have fully benefited from the virtual experience and the powers of boundary-less interactions and dialogues. Ladies and gentlemen, the EBKF is a unique conference which looks at promoting research that innovates with technologies in order to address the challenges and opportunities that remote and isolated indigenous communities face. It is also a platform to bring together various stakeholders, the teams from the government, the industry, academia, to address issues together with the communities, to listen to their voices as they express their thoughts, beliefs, opinions, and experience on various issues pertinent to community development in the 21st century perspective. In this year's conference, we have Sarawak Multimedia Authority supporting as technology partner, and this brings for us the linkages to 49 digital community centers throughout the state. As a result, EBKF 8 has turned out to be a Sarawakian homegrown model of a global development conference that is scalable and at the same time bridges the digital divide by its translational and transformational research elements. Our partnership with the State Modernization Unit is ongoing, and this year we have established a formal link with Miri City Council, who have become a key collaborator. We particularly acknowledge the contribution and continued support of Sarawak Energy in sponsoring the event. The Academy Science Malaysia has this year joined us as a partner, particularly ahead of the launch of the Sarawak chapter later this year. Thank you all for this wonderful contribution. 2 years ago, we took EBKF one step further as we connected with local communities from across the border in Krayan for the first time. This was indeed an exciting achievement for all of us, especially as this is indicative of how EBKF is instrumental in meeting, discussing, and deliberating on relevant solutions to challenges faced by the community. This year, we are spreading the wings of EBKF further as we connect with wider community all around the globe through this virtual platform. And I believe that we are well on our way towards becoming a discourse channel that is referred to and acknowledged the world over. I would like to extend my greatest appreciation to our academic partners from Cornell University, University of Alberta, Bournemouth University, University of Rio, and University College of Technology Sarawak, and our industry partners from Sarawak Energy Berhad and Conscious Ventures, our government agency partners from the State Modernization Unit and Miri Council, our community linkage partners from Rurum Kelabit Sarawak, Fomadat, Malaysia Trees Innovation Association, and the Worldwide Fund for Nature, as well as our international collaborators from Asia Pacific Partnership for Responsible Rural Tourism and the UNESCO Chair for ICT 4D-led Consortium, Digital Environment System Coalition, for taking the time and greatly contributing towards the success of EBKF 8. I am sure that all the representatives from our partners across the board, together with members from the various indigenous communities from Bario, Long Tanit, Long Lamai, Baklalan, Long Bawan, and Long Pasir, as well as the orang asli sites of Pos Gop, Pos Balar, Pos Sindurut, and Pos Lenjang in Peninsular Malaysia, are all gathered to collaborate and have dialogues on different areas of interest to the indigenous community, particularly on matters pertaining to ICTs and indigenous development, cross-border biodiversity conservation and management, community-based ecotourism, preservation of cultural heritage with ICTs, and indigenizing ICT 4D, to name a few. I have to especially mention Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF, and FOMADAT for jointly organizing and enriching this conference with the diverse and rich community linkages that has made the conference what it is today. The conference has proven in this way to be truly co-designed with the community and inclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, may I take this opportunity to congratulate the organizing team from UNIMAS, the Institute of Social Informatics and Technological Innovation, ISITI, together with Institute of Borneo Studies, IBS, supported by UNIMAS Sustainability Center, UNIMAS Leadership Center, UNIMAS Global, and all supporting faculties and institutes. Congratulations for the pioneering spirit and enterprising effort. To conclude, I would like to wish all the participants of EBKF 8 a valuable deliberation and hope that your time here at the Knowledge Fair will be very productive for you in both your professional and personal growth. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Majlis merakamkan terima kasih kepada yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Khadim bin Suaidi, Naib Chancellor UNIMAS atas ucapan aluan sebentar tadi. Hadirin yang dihormati, majlis diteruskan dengan ucapan perasmian. Dengan segala hormat, majlis menjemput dan mempersilakan Yang Berhormat Datuk Gerawat Gala, Timbalan Speaker Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak, Merangkap Adun N78 Mulu untuk menyampaikan ucapan dan seterusnya merasmikan eBorneo Knowledge Fair ke-8. Dengan segala hormatnya dipersilakan.
Selamat pagi. Salam sejahtera, salam Sarawakku sayang. Yang berbahagia, Profesor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Khadim bin Suaidi, Naib Chancellor UNIMAS, Timbalan-timbalan Naib Chancellor UNIMAS, yang berusaha, Profesor Dr. Narayanan, and Associate Professor Dr. Pauline Bala, who are the co-chairs of the organizing committee, representatives of NGOs and co-collaborators, speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the organizing committee, UNIMAS, and all the co-collaborators, amongst others, Sarawak Multimedia Authority, State Manpower Modernization Unit, State Economic Development Corporation, and the State Library for your success in organizing this 3-day conference, despite the very challenging circumstances arising from this unprecedented and prolonged COVID-19 pandemic. For me, this 8th edition of the eBorneo Knowledge Fair is a record achievement by UNIMAS for 3 reasons. First, it has attracted a record number of participants, including participants from 10 foreign countries. That is what I understand. And secondly, the conference is proceeding concurrently in more than one location, where delegates and speakers participate from more than one location. Yesterday, I understand the participants were participating from Kuching and from Barrio. And today, of course, there are more than few locations. And thirdly, why I say it's record is this time you have online digital conference using Zoom instead of the usual physical gathering of participants at one conference venue, as was done in the past 7 e-knowledge fairs. What started in 2007 as a very local event known as eBorneo then, or eBorneo Knowledge Fair then, which was first held in Barrio, has now grown by leaps and bounds into an international conference, as evidenced by the international participations in this 8th eBorneo Knowledge Fair. In my view, the first eBorneo Knowledge Fair and subsequent knowledge fairs were motivated by UNIMAS' noble desire to share the knowledge and experience gained from their very successful pilot project, eBorneo, which won national and international awards for its innovativeness and how it impacted and empowered the local community. I feel truly privileged to have been associated with eBorneo project since 2000, and the subsequent eBorneo knowledge fairs, both in my capacity initially as the president of our Rurum Kelabit Association, and now currently as a recently as a panel member or panel advisor for ISITI-UNIMAS. I was with Dr. Roger Harris, who was then with UNIMAS as a lecturer when he first came to Barrio sometime, I think it must be 1999. I'm not too exact here, but I think 1999. He was there to engage with members of the Barrio community both in Miri and later in Barrio about the planned eBorneo project then. Like the Barrio community leaders, I was actually very skeptical because eBorneo was about internet connectivity, when at that time, telephone connectivity for Barrio was still a huge challenge. I salute UNIMAS for choosing to pilot the project in Barrio, which is one of the most remote and most difficult and challenging location in Sarawak as far as both telephonic and internet connectivity is concerned. Not many local leaders knew much about internet then, and it was a real challenge for Dr. Harris to explain and get the Barrio leaders to understand what internet was all about. I remember he brought his laptop to demonstrate what internet was, except there was actually no internet connection then. It required a leap of faith on the part of the Barrio community, as well as a great zeal and determination on the part of UNIMAS eBorneo project team. I remember cautioning Dr. Harris then that his real challenge will be managing the expectation of the community and getting them to understand the equal risk of success and failure for such a pilot project. That might have put extra incentive or rather extra pressure for UNIMAS to ensure the success of eBorneo, which was subsequently proven by the national and the international recognition and awards for the eBorneo project. This 8th eBorneo Knowledge Fair and the replicating of eBorneo by UNIMAS in other parts of Sarawak, Sabah, and Peninsular Malaysia, to me is a clear testament of both the great success and value of this novel collaboration between UNIMAS and the Kelabit community in Barrio. I salute UNIMAS' willingness not only to share the success of eBorneo, but also to replicate eBorneo in other locations throughout Sarawak, Sabah, and Peninsular Malaysia to benefit and empower other indigenous communities. The success of eBorneo in my view, have earned UNIMAS the trust and confidence of our Barrio community, as well as the other communities where UNIMAS have replicated eBorneo. UNIMAS, to me, has earned distinction in their ability and success in engaging and collaborating with communities, especially in the indigenous communities where they work, with which they work together. The eBorneo knowledge fairs, including today's eBorneo Knowledge Fair has provided an excellent platform and avenue for local community and beneficiaries of the eBorneo to share the experience and knowledge gained from eBorneo, as well as to learn from the others. With the state government's policy of promoting digital economy and focusing on building the digital infrastructure to ensure wider internet coverage and penetration into the rural areas, I sincerely hope UNIMAS can continue to be a key player to continue exploring opportunities to empower rural communities to unlock and realize their full socio-economic potentials, which can help to improve their livelihood and raise their living standards. You have taken the first significant step by collaborating with key state agencies like Sarawak Multimedia Authority, the State Modernization Unit, Sarawak Economic Development Corporation, and Miri City Council, amongst others, and together with community associations such as Rurum Kelabit Sarawak, Formadat, and national and international universities, I am very confident you will continue to attain greater success through this collaboration. My dream would be for all Sarawakians, especially the indigenous communities in the rural areas, to achieve the level of digital literacy, to have equal access to internet, which will enable them to participate in the digital economy. I understand this 8th eBorneo Knowledge Fair bring together researchers, development practitioners, policymakers, technology scientists, community leaders, and residents to deliberate on the use of information and communication technology for the development of communities in isolated and rural areas where most indigenous communities live. Speakers and participants will also deliberate on the emerging relevance of traditional knowledge of indigenous communities, which can be suitably adopted for the benefit of others. This conference to me will provide community associations and members to voice their concerns and suggestions to address development challenges in the areas. I hope some of the outcomes and resolutions from this 8th eBorneo Knowledge Fair can be key inputs for policymakers in the rollout of the digital agenda at state and national level. I sincerely hope that the results and outcome of this and future eBorneo Knowledge Fairs will eventually be translated into practical and implementable development projects for the indigenous communities, and not just remain as subjects for academic discourse. I wish all of you a very successful, enjoyable, and exciting conference and fruitful conference. And with this, dengan ini, saya dengan penuh sukacita merasmikan persidangan eBorneo Knowledge Fair ke-8 tahun 2021. Terima kasih. Thank you.
From a humble beginning, eBorneo project has touched lives in grassroots places, reaching to disadvantaged communities in remote settings. The eBorneo Knowledge Fair made its appearance as a platform for problem solving, tapping on expert network and aligning it to community scenarios. eBorneo evolves to become Institute of Social Informatics and Technological Innovations, ISITI-UNIMAS. In an effort to scale up, to expand to other regions, eBorneo Knowledge Fair transforms itself to become eBorneo Knowledge Fair. In its own stride, the eBorneo Knowledge Fair began to cross boundaries to reach out to many more communities all over. As a leap forward, EBKF has ventured into uncharted terrain beyond time and space into a virtual reality. Going global to address challenging problems in the real world through co-designing with multiple stakeholders. The EBKF has transcended an experimental model to now become a global brand, and next it is moving boldly with and into the mainstream. Discover your true potential at the eBorneo Knowledge Fair.
Dengan persembahan montaj sebentar tadi, maka eBorneo Knowledge Fair ke-8 tahun 2021 rasmilah sudah. Kepada Yang Berhormat Datuk Gerawat Gala, buah pau dari seberang, delima puan pohonnya rendang. Biar jauh dari lapangan, jasa Datuk tetap dikenang. Majlis merakamkan jutaan terima kasih sekali lagi di atas kesudian Yang Berhormat Datuk Gerawat Gala kerana merasmikan eBorneo Knowledge Fair ke-8. Yang Berhormat Datuk Gerawat, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan hadirin yang dimuliakan, seterusnya majlis menjemput hadirin untuk sesi bergambar sempena majlis perasmian EBKF 8 2021. Kepada semua, sila pasangkan kamera masing-masing ya bagi tujuan pengambilan gambar ini. Kameraman, silakan.
Okay, get ready. I'll print screen on 1, 2, 3. Yes, thank you.
Terima kasih kepada semua yang mengambil bahagian dalam sesi bergambar sebentar tadi. Yang Berhormat, hadirin yang dihormati, seterusnya majlis mempersilakan Yang Berusaha Profesor Dr. Narayanan Kulaturamaya, pengerusi bersama EBKF ke-8, untuk menyampaikan talimat program serta sorotan IBKF. Dipersilakan, Prof.
Good morning. Thank you, Yang Berhormat Datuk Grawat, and also Yang my Vice Chancellor, Professor Datuk Kadim, and also Prof. Wan Hashim for being here together with us. So what I'm going to do here is I just have to say thank you to everyone who's here, who's helped us, and who made this possible. So I'm just going to brief you on the program. So for everyone who's going to join the conference, you will get an idea what to look out for in this conference. Right? So the conference actually took hundreds of hours to build. And sometimes it's very difficult to see where it started. I mean, we actually had discussions with the Barrio School. We had community meetings. While TV Sarawak helped us to promote the event. And then we went on to have meetings with the mayor himself, or Mayor of Miri. And then we also had a number of meetings with the Formadat. I mean, thanks to Councillor John and team for getting us across boundaries, right? But it was not always a success. There were times when our call just failed and just couldn't get through. People just couldn't talk. So it's really, I mean, an unpredictable environment that we are dealing with, especially in moving. But the beauty is being able to talk directly with the primary school in Barrio was, to me, an eye-opener. I mean, there's no more boundaries as we had in our minds. So as we move on, now we were able to move on to 17 different communities we engaged, but only Barrio managed to come in yesterday. I mean, that's because of the amount of engagement needed, and we are looking forward to working with the Sarawak Multimedia Authority. We already addressed the 49 managers of all these sites. Thank you, Prof. Khalid, for joining us today. Right, so we are hoping that the lessons that we learn can be carried through to help many more people throughout the state. And the challenge we see is people do not know how to engage communities properly. And that's really where UNIMAS has vast experience, and we will commit ourselves to continue with this training. Right. So the way we reached out, also I have to thank my own team. I mean, we had a social media program, social media campaign. We had the website, I mean, which is still growing somehow. And I hope that, well, by the end of this conference, we will have a very nice website that will remain and help to promote the activities of eBorneo Knowledge Fair beyond these 3 days when the conference is going to be held, right? But what I want to highlight now is yesterday, there was a pre-conference event where we had a live streaming, live session, Zoom session in Labang Lounge in Barrio. And there were facilitators who were helping the children who were there. So they were actually recipients of the workshops, and they were actually watching and they were learning. And now they have a project. They are already building their own content for the communities. So for me, this is just a start, and I just hope that this trend will go on to reach out to many more sites throughout the state. Right. So at the same time, we've had a number of community dialogues, and Ketua Masyarakat will be joining for their session. They will be presenting, and not us, for this afternoon session, both in Long Tanit and also in Barrio. Right. So this is another highlight of this year's program. But most importantly, we launched our community sustainability channel. Yesterday, it was presented, and we were highlighting what it can do. And we are looking forward to receiving video clips across the state from all the digital community centers, right? Also from other community members who are participating. We are looking at populating the digital media portal for Sarawak. So this is really a long-term, long shot, but it is already becoming a fruitful thing, a realization, right? So, but apart from all the sponsors that you see on our background, there are also many schools, and there are Tegas came in. I mean, there are many agencies that have silently supported us. I mean, the schools output, the 3 schools who presented and did fantastically in the EBKF Junior Inventive Challenge, they will present their outcomes in our program as well. So watch out for the output from the wonderful contribution of the schools, right? So before I conclude, I just want to say thank you to everyone, particularly our patron, Dato' Kadim, who has been instrumental in motivating us. All our advisors, you see here our meeting between the co-chairs, Dr. Pauline and myself, having a discussion with Dato' Grawat. And then all our research fellows, this is just a snapshot of the faces. There are over 50 of them. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to my technical team here in ECT. They were the ones who allowed the dream to become a reality. This wonderful team really took all the pressure I gave them. I'm really sorry to take away their lives from them in organizing. Thank you so much. But not to forget the ECT family, who has been like really the power behind whatever we explore in ECT. Right. Thank you to also my co-chair and IPB, and also all the other faculties and departments in UNIMAS. Right. So I just want to share this wonderful list or diverse list of sponsors. I just need to say thank you to Sarawak Modernization Unit, this SMA. Once again, I know that and that Kadim already mentioned, but it's my duty to also address them. They've been really wonderful. Sarawak Energy for continuing to support World Wildlife Fund for helping us reach out to the communities, for Madat for making UNIMAS a part of the community. Thank you so much. The Academy Science for the first time joining us, the TRIS Association for the innovation program, the Miri City Council for becoming a partner this time, and looking forward to working with UNIMAS on the Smart City Initiative. And we have got the university, UNESCO, community partners as well. Thank you to everyone. Your presence really made a difference. Okay, one partner's logo, which is not here, sorry, is the SEDC. SEDC also this year for the first time have also joined UNIMAS, and this means that there is a recognition from SEDC, which has been pioneering in economic development, also to recognize UNIMAS as a partner in their long-term initiative. Right. So with that, while I go into the program, well, it might be difficult to perceive what's happening because there's 21, 25, 26, 28, 27, and 28. So there is 5 days of activity here. As I mentioned, this is hundreds and hundreds of hours of going through again and again and again. So really, it has been a wonderful experience trying to dream the best for EBKF. So I have to, before I say anything, apologize to all my team members for pushing this project. Well, the reason I push for this project is because of COVID-19. COVID-19 has shown us how fragile we are. So I imagine this is going to be the last conference that I'm going to chair. I just imagine I don't want to take any chance. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So let us do the best. Let us put in everything. Let us make it the most meaningful for everyone who has come into our lives, and also those people we know who can benefit from this conference. So that's why you're going to see the conference. We had a pre-conference event. All the vice chancellors who are advisors, they were there. Former vice chancellors as well. It was a real meaningful experience. SMA, Khalid participated together with us. So it was something exciting. But over the next 3 days, please don't miss out the program. The program will be shared to you through the links, and you will have all these really diverse activities going from craft to folk songs to community content to COVID-19 readiness to responsible tourism to arts, right? So this is really what you are going to be in store for. And well, do not miss the talks by our keynote speakers. We already had Datuk Zawawi who spoke to us on the 21st. And then we're going to have Tim Anwin, the ICT chair, ICT 4D chair by UNESCO. He's going to share with us this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And then, of course, we have Jason Gayton, who will be a keynote speaker who will come in on the 3rd day of the conference, which is on the, on the 2nd day of the conference, which is on the 27th afternoon, right? So please check our schedules and please come and join us, right? So this is in an easy way or easy look what the schedule looks like. Please go and well, spend some time trying to analyze what can help you or what can link with you in your own area of expertise or background, right? So I have to say that, I mean, there are programs by Alina Murang and teams, Sarah Dore, well, Fabian Joseph and group. I mean, they really put up something wonderful that the community in Barrio already is benefiting, right? So it also benefited them because they had to learn Kalabit to actually interact with the community. So in a way, whatever we are doing is really moving things forward, right? On the 27th, look forward to the telecenter program for Orang Asli talk. I mean, there's a keynote number 2, and also some sharing on the community service. And the most importantly is the gala night celebrating community heroes, right? Now, we will be celebrating these heroes who have been a part of our lives, who are still very instrumental in shaping the way we do things. And we will also recognize community scholars of ECT. And these are UNIMA's own recognized individuals who have grown from people in remote places to people who are recognized all over the world as global citizens, right? As global scholars. So you will be sharing this event, and we really invite all of you. While the links can be shared to your friends as well, inform as many people to come in. Hopefully we get about 500 people at this event. And last but not least is the final day of program on the 28th, where we will do a global EBKF Global, which is going to highlight the outcomes of everything that we saw over the past few years, and also a session with Miri City Council, Project Rane, and Water Development Project with UNESCO, and some lessons learned from all our projects. So with that, thank you for the opportunity. I just want to highlight, don't forget to leave a comment, a thought, or whatever you feel you want to share with us, and we will be giving you the Miro link. Miro is the online tool that allows you to have the knowledge tree online. So please share your thoughts with us, and we can all take your ideas and thoughts and build another more wonderful, more meaningful ones that touch lives the next time around. Thank you again. Thank God for this opportunity, and may God bless you all.
Demikian taklimat program serta sorotan EBKF yang telah disampaikan oleh pengerusi bersama EBKF 8, Profesor Narayanan Pulaturamaya. Majlis mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih. Hadirin yang dihormati, montaj perasmian eBorneo Knowledge Fair ke-8 tadi adalah hasil karya Saudara Aminur Iman bin Abdul Wahid, sementara video EBKF Journey adalah hasil karya Saudari Nurliah Bujang, pelajar-pelajar internship ICT. Terima kasih kepada Iman dan Alia. Tetamu kehormat, yang berhormat Datuk Gerawat Gala, pengurusan tertinggi UNIMAS, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan hadirin yang dimuliakan. Majlis perasmian eBorneo Knowledge Fair ke-8 tahun 2021 pada pagi ini selesai sudah. Bagi pihak penganjur, bersama doa bangsa berjasa, terus gemilang UNIMASku sayang, berusaha membantu kita sesama EBKF terlaksana tercapai perjuangan. Kepada hadirin semua, terima kasih sekali lagi. Kami memohon maaf adanya kekurangan dalam majlis ini. Sesungguhnya yang baik itu datangnya dari Allah dan yang kurang adalah di pihak kami. Sebelum mengakhiri majlis ini, kepada hadirin semua, kami amat mengalu-alukan penyertaan di dalam program EBKF 8 sepanjang 3 hari berlangsung, mulai 26 hingga 28 Oktober ini. Sesi yang akan berlangsung sebentar lagi bertajuk Sustainable Development in Remote Rural Communities bersama pembentang Puan Nur Aziah binti Abdul Wahab. Sesi akan dikendali moderator Profesor Madya Dr. Jessie Lin Minoy. Beliau ialah pengarah pusat gamifikasi UNIMAS. Teruslah bersama kami di eBorneo Knowledge Fair ke-8 yang bertema Bouncing Back Stronger. kepada semua staf UNIMAS yang ingin turut serta di EBKF ini, sila ambil maklum QR code akan dipamer selepas ini. Penyertaan staf UNIMAS akan diambil sebagai jam latihan dan peserta menerima sijil penyertaan. Sekali lagi kepada semua hadirin, terima kasih.